You're listening to Teka Teka, and in this episode, we're talking to journalist Carol Ilagan, who's been digging into how artificial intelligence impacts, among other things, the fares that we pay when we use ride hailing apps like Grab. I'm Carl Javier, CEO of Puma Podcast and editor in chief of Teka Teka. Hello, Carol. Kumusta?
Hi, Carl. I'm good.
Yeah, so Grab has become a go to option for navigating Metro Manila's infamous traffic. Convenient, yes, but often costly. If you've ever booked a ride and noticed sky high fares, you've probably experienced so called surge fees. But how many of us really understand how these fees work? And more importantly, how much of it is driven by AI behind the scenes? Back in July, the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, with support from the Pulitzer Center's AI Accountability Network, published a groundbreaking story on Grab surge pricing. Their research revealed that the ride hailing app applies surges even during off peak hours. Today, we're diving deeper into that story with Carol, who led the investigative team. So, first question ko lang, Carol. And you used this term even when we were just developing the story, which was black box AI.
Right.
And in my mind, because I'm old, black box to me is like the airplane, like when the airplane crashes uh, and then they unpack that black box and figure out why the airplane crashed.
Right,
Um,
right.
what's the connection between that and black box AI? Meron ba?
Yun, ako, ganun din ako, no? At first, when you talk about black box, yun din yung naiisip ko. Pero, it's a term na ginagamit to describe algorithms. Kasi yun nga, in the first place, ano nga ba yung algorithm? So, when we talk about algorithm, we basically talk about parang meron kang set of instructions or meron kang parang recipe. So, pwede natin siyang ihalin tulad sa if let's say magluluto ka pag nagluto ako let's say ng adobo, alam ko yung ingredients or the so-called inputs. And then, alam natin kung paano siya lulutuin, di ba? Imamarinate, tas iluluto. And then, alam natin yung output, which is the adobo. But in the case of algorithms on how it's being used in apps and a lot of the things that we're using now no in daily life, hindi natin alam yung nasa gitnang part. Alam lang natin yung input at saka yung output. So kaya tinatawag siya na yun nga, merong black box na hindi natin alam ano yung nasa loob nun, which is the middle part.
Okay, so I'll try and summarize that, which is basically um, and this is a totally different technology from the airplane stuff. So let's put that aside. And then this is something to do specifically with AI. And I think kasi ang daming iba-ibang conversations around artificial intelligence and how it works. And what most people are familiar with right now is generative AI, yung GPTs where you put a prompt and it gives you things. But this is a specific different application of artificial intelligence, right?
Well, algorithms are being used sa AI. Yes.
Yes.
Tapos pag tinawag natin yung generative, it's a branch of AI na ang dami-dami pang
Mm-mm.
bagay. Pero yun nga, since we started using ChatGPT, for a lot of people, pag sinabing AI, ChatGPT lang.
Yes.
When in fact, ang dami pa. Malawak pa yung pwede nating tingnan when we talk about AI.
And I think um, the thing here to be concerned about is what you're saying na parang magic. Para siyang alam now I'm just thinking parang Star Trek yung meron na sila input and then suddenly taran meron na silang item na lumalabas from this like microwave looking thing. And that's sort of what's happening here is the the algorithms get programmed, but the algorithms are also self-educating. And to me, that's probably one of the things that we don't think about enough, but we should be concerned about. Um, because at least yung sa understanding ko, no, and the way where that social media has evolved is that the algorithms are operating on their own to trigger us. 'Di ba? Like on Facebook, on Twitter, ganon, the algorithms have been trained independent of people to to promote things that get more engagement, and that's the only thing. And
Right,
now we're
right.
like, oh no, what's going on here? And I think what's great with your story is we don't stop there. We're looking at all of these other things that are a part of our daily life, specifically yung Grab. But obviously, I feel like there's a lot to talk about here. My next question is, oh sige, so we'll go back to that black box concept and what goes into these algorithms after. But um, basically, inisip ko, lahat tayo, every day, we open up our app and then there's whichever app we're going to use. And even though I'm talking about all of this stuff, I've never stopped to say, how does Grab work?
Exactly.
Uh-uh.
Exactly.
I don't,
Yun, kasi, I mean, you have all of these apps and then parang tanggap na lang natin na, okay, it's this nifty thing. It makes things efficient. Pwede pala akong tumawag ng maghahatid sundo sa akin.
oo.
So, yun na yun, no? Pero yun
Uh-uh.
nga, uh, how does it work?
And I think kasi, like when it was still Uber before Grab entered, it's like, kainis kasi yung kinokontrata ako. So, eto, mas mura na, mas efficient pa, tapos I don't have to deal with a human. My question is, Carol, again, like we're all using these things. Bakit ikaw? Ba't mo naisipan? Like what's going on with you? Na we're all going about this normally and then you went,
Yeah.
might something be wrong here?
Okay, so I think it's two things. So I'm a commuter. So
Mm-hmm.
talagang ever since college and then when I started working, I always commute. So ramdam ko yung nararamdaman mo ng maraming Pilipino, especially yung nakatira sa Metro Manila, kung paano mag-navigate yung city na talaga namang mahirap siya. So when Uber came and then later Grab, I really felt the convenience, no? Kaya lang, ayun nga, no, after so many years, I remember before, parang noon yung Uber mas mura. And then,
Mm-hmm.
nung Grab
Mm-hmm.
na, I think lahat naman tayo alam na talagang mas mahal yung Grab right from the start. And then, I think it came to a point when, yun nga, nakwento ko dun sa story na I live in Las Piñas, I work in Quezon City. So talagang may days na I really rely on Grab. And don't get me wrong, talagang for me, super helpful nung app. Kasi yun nga hindi efficient naman talaga yung ating public transportation. Kaya lang nun, sabi ko, syempre nag-lista ako ng expenses ko para hindi ko matanggap na ganito ba talaga kamahal
Yes.
mag-commute in Metro Manila. So I know I pay for convenience, I pay for efficiency. Pero ganun ba 'yon? Tatanggapin na lang ba natin siya na is there no way to inquire ito ba talaga yung presyo niya lalo na pagka pinag-usapan natin yung surge pricing pero ano yun, that was, siguro yun, I've been thinking about that for a long time. Kaya lang yun nga, minsan, wala kasi tayong ibang choice, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
So you just, malilate na ako sa class ko, so I just have to book. And then, last year, I knew about the Pulitzer Center's AI Accountability Network. So, syempre at that time, buzzword yung AI, especially with ChatGPT. Pero itong AI Accountability Network na to, it's not about how to use AI in reporting, but
Mm-hmm.
about investigating AI or seeking accountability sa AI or technology or the big tech in general. So sabi ko, sige nga, itry ko to. Tapos when I was,
Wait. So
go ahead.
so it's just sige nga try ko ito. Like
Oo, yeah, yeah. Sige nga, try ko ito kasi parang ako naman as a as a teacher,
mm,
syempre alam ko na this is the new thing, AI. So parang gusto ko rin naman na parang as a way for me na mag-improve rin. So may bago akong ituturo sa students ko. There might be something here na makakatulong din for my students. So parang investigating AI, parang to me, parang hindi ko yun naisip. Kasi nga, chat GPT lang tayo, no? So, when, I think I joined one of the parang briefings nila just to introduce the network. And then I became more familiar with the stories being done in the US mainly. Kasi di ba sa
Mhm.
kanila talaga, yung Silicon Valley, meron talagang nakatutok sa tech
Mhm.
companies doon. And then there were a lot of stories about, may racial discrimination
Mhm.
because
Yes,
of
yeah.
the use of,
Yeah. The
yung may
training data.
cameras. Yeah, oo,
Mm.
yan. So, ako naman sabi ko, oh my gosh, ano naman ang AI? Ano
Sa
naman yung sa
Pilipinas.
atin, ano?
Wait, so how did you
Yeah.
discover that it was Grab
So
was running on
eto, so
AI?
actually, yung backstory noon, when I was being interviewed for, so I applied to the AI Accountability Network.
Mm-mm.
May mga pinitch ako na several stories. I think yung una kong ang pinipitch pa was about yung algorithm sa Facebook, sa TikTok.
Right.
Yan, na parang sabi ko, kasi 'di ba parang defined yung newsfeed natin by the algorithm. Hindi kaya may nawawala na sa yung parang kasi defined yan by the Facebook algorithm.
Yes.
Akala
Yeah.
mo you have the freedom to explore.
Mm-hmm.
Pero yon pero yon parang hindi nila ano yon parang at the time medyo parang abstract siya, or maybe kasi yun nga there's a lot of research na rin naman sa
Yes.
disinformation,
Uh-huh.
misinformation.
Uh-huh.
And then, naisipan ko to look into yung mga research on tumitingin sa digital technology, yung mga NGOs wherein they look at digital tech in general. So that's how I came across this research by Fair Work. So this is being done by Oxford Institute. So essentially yung Fair Work, ang tinitingnan niya ay platform work,
Mm-hmm.
wherein isa doon yung Grab and Uber and the
Right.
other
Yeah.
ride-hailing apps. So platform work yung tinitingnan nila kasi yun nga parang iba na ito yung parang aided by technology yung labor, no? So, maraming tinitingnan doon in the concept of yung fair work. So, dapat fair yung pay, yung working conditions, yung management, at saka yung representation also. So, may isang mention doon about the ride-hailing apps. So, kaya dun nag-start yun. So, sabi ko,
Mm.
okay. So, yung palang app na araw-araw kong ginagamit, there's AI behind this. Kasi o nga naman, no, parang paano niya nalalaman, paano niya ima-match yung passenger doon sa
Mm-mm.
driver. So that's how dun ko siya naisip na na there's AI here. And yun nga parang and especially because in the context of the Philippines na well in the case of Grab monopoly siya. So may mga ganong kwento pala, especially pagka when you're talking about digital technology, usually hindi naman palaging may monopoly, pero pagka ikaw yung first mover, medyo ang hirap ng humabol ng competition.
Yes.
So, kaya, ayun, dun siya nag-start. So, ayun.
Actually, mahaba din yung kwento ng ride-hailing apps, no? Even before
Mm-mm.
the AI conversation, the labor challenges, both internationally, locally, the fact that they kind of come in, they disrupt the business, but then they break the pricing models, and then
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
everyone needs to readjust, and that's even before we get to this AI
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Um, Follow up ko dyan. So, there are so many technologies that we interact with that we don't know how they work. My favorite is like the credit card na, my favorite trivia is like, yung strip of tape on that credit card is actually the same material as cassette tape audio. Kasi dati yung tinatawag yung credit card. So that's actually a piece of audio
Oh,
tape
okay.
dati.
I
So,
didn't know that.
but I mean, right? Like, so there are so many pieces of technology that we have that we don't need to understand. Like, I don't understand. Well, I don't understand how my mic picks up audio. Ganyan.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
there are
yeah.
all of these things that we're fine. But um, why is it important? Like, why is that a part of your study that it's important for us to understand specifically what makes AI and black boxes work? Like, what about these black box technologies differentiates it where it necessitates na kailangan maging accountable ito sa atin?
Mm. Siguro kasi una, ayun nga, parang um, kanina sinasabi ko, no, itong mga apps na ito, on one hand, malaking tulong ng mga applications na ito. Kasi yun nga, innovative siya, di ba? Parang
Mhm.
hindi natin inisip parang 10 years or 2 decades ago na may ganito palang kind of technology na that really helps us. But on one hand, pag tiningnan natin paano siya nag intersect with different systems of
Yes.
disadvantages
Okay.
and discrimination, parang doon siya medyo tricky, ano. So pag sinabi kong yung intersection ng disadvantage or discrimination, for example, in the context of the Philippines, kung talaga nga namang mahirap mag-commute, you don't really have a lot of option, talagang ibubuk mo na lang,
Mhm.
ano. So parang ano ka na lang, pikit mata ka na lang kahit ganun kalaki yung babayaran mo, ano. So kaya mahalagang mahalaga yung transparency yung una pa nga is transparency, ano, how it works. Sana alam natin kung um, ano yung nasa gitna no, paano naging output yung input na yon. On the part of workers naman, for instance, in the case of yung mga drivers and riders, pag sinabing yung intersection ng system of disadvantage, a lot of our riders and drivers, sa totoo lang naman, hindi naman lahat nakagraduate yan, ano?
Yeah.
So, they have,
Vulnerable sila.
yes,
Yeah.
vulnerable sila. Hindi nila alam how does this work sa kanila. Maybe, ang nagmamatter ay yung kanilang bottom line. How much yung i-earn nila doon. So, talagang yung daily life nila is driven by what the app is telling them. So, tapos, idadagdag mo pa doon yung condition na they are hindi sila regular workers. So talagang lumalabas yung maraming vulnerabilities. So both consumers and workers, ayun, malaking issue yon, kaya dapat silipin natin. Tapos ang isa pang tricky doon, dahil nga technology siya, it's not like, being implemented by a government agency. May isa ka
Yeah.
pang hurdle doon eh. Kasi hindi mo naman
Yes.
pwedeng, hindi mo
At saka
pwedeng,
wala naman tayong consumer
yeah,
protections na sobrang
oo.
aggressive dito,
Um,
like you tried to do in that story na konti lang
Kasi
yung consumer protection.
paano ko ire-request? Hindi naman ako pwedeng
Ah,
mag-demand kasi hindi naman kami nasasaklaw pareho ng constitution. Ano, sure they are being regulated, but I don't think they would hand out information
yeah.
to us, no? So,
Yes, I mean I've
yun.
seen you try to acquire the permissions and to ask for comments from Grab
Mm-mm.
and
Mm-mm.
their other uh services. Uh,
Mm-mm.
so my question there is um on one side of this is us the consumers, and like you said, there's very little opportunity for us to go elsewhere. In fact, ang madaling isasagot sa atin is di wag ka mag-grab,
Exactly.
di mag-commute ka, di mag-taxi
Exactly.
ka. Eto na nga, binigyan ka na nga ng services, tapos gano'n, di
Mm-mm.
ba? And on the other side of that, there is really, we have to acknowledge the opportunity that has been created. Like, ang dami naman talagang nabago sa workforce. But because then, there's this high supply of workforce in that space, then nababawasan din yung opportunity nila to earn. And so that's one thing that siguro I'm thinking about is when um when we ask for accountability with something like this, how do you balance yung ginagamit ko naman yung service, nakikinabang ako versus please be transparent with me. How are
Mm-mm.
you parang squaring those as a
Yeah.
as a just as a person, and then as a person doing a story?
Mm. Doon naman siyempre parang kailangan i-embrace rin yung complication ng story. Kasi in this
Mhm.
case, talagang complicated siya because kasi yun nga, after the story came out, after the podcast episodes came out, anong ginawa ko? Nag-book pa rin ako sa
Nag-book pa rin.
nag-book pa rin ako, no?
Nag-grab food din
Kasi
ako kaninang
oo.
lunch, gano'n.
I mean, so kaya kailangan ding i-acknowledge na yun nga, we're not demonizing the technology, pero yun nga, I think malaki yung room for improvement in the sense na ayun nga, minimum yung transparency doon para mas
Yeah.
maintindihan natin how it works. Otherwise, ayun, lagi tayong ganito, no, magtataka tayo, we're always in the dark kung bakit ganito yung presyo, or let's say kung on the side naman of the workers, let's say but ito lang yung kinita ko, or bakit sila
Mm.
na block sa app, so parang dapat alam natin yon. So ayun, I guess parte yon, na we have to acknowledge talagang helpful siya. Pero yon, that doesn't mean na uh, hindi na pwedeng tingnan or hindi na pwede siyang bantayan.
I wonder if, and this is my own thoughts on it, ang hirap mag-advance ng regulation. I mean, yung mag-a-adjust lang ng fares, ang laki na, and then ang daming moving parts. But for technology companies, they just embrace yung move forward and just implement, and then bahala na, and then they'll try and justify. And I actually think that the technological layer between consumer and yung worker and yung company, yung ganon, creates a buffer through which not necessarily illegal or unethical behavior can happen, but that there can be vulnerabilities that get exploited. Tama ba yun? Is that what we're looking at here?
Mm. Right, that's right. Kasi yun, pag titingnan natin yung mga platforms na ito, parang kumbaga may apat na actors. So you have the platform or the company. So for example, Uber and Grab. And then you have the merchants. So let's say the restaurants, the fast
Mhm.
food chains.
Oo
And
nga pala.
then you have the customers na
Mm.
tayo, either o-order tayo ng food or will book a ride. And you have the workers.
Mhm.
So, doon may tinatawag nga na sa pag-aaral dyan, may tinatawag na yun daw, may asymmetries or
Yes.
may asymmetries na inherent. So, ibig sabihin, merong hindi pagkakabalanse. At pag titingnan pala yon, ang pinaka nagbe-benefit sa sistema na yon ay yung platform. Kasi nasa kanya ang information, siya ang may alam, di ba?
Para
Um,
no surprise. Ganyan.
yeah,
No
oo.
surprise yung
Tapos,
platform yung nakikinabang.
if you think about it, but to be fair, syempre malaki ang malaki ang investment nila to get
Yes.
the thing going, no?
Yeah, of course.
Pero yung talagang sino talaga ang tumatrabaho nun? Sino ang nagpo-provide ng service? It's the workers. So kaya
Right.
sa studies nga pag tinitingnan yon, ang nasa bottom ay yung workers. And tama ka, pagka may dispute, yung platform hindi surprise na hindi to surprise, no, na ang parang naka-design siya para paboran yung customer kasi gusto
Mhm.
niyang kumita, ano naman yon, 'di ba, parang alam naman natin yon. At ang gusto niya ay yun nga, mas maraming bookings, mas maraming rides, no, yung i-take ng worker. So yun, parang kung isipin natin, parang edi wag mong i-take yung ride, no? Wag mong i-cancel mo, 'di ba? Parang may ganon, Pero hindi siya ganon pag
Hindi
nga
ganun kasimple.
oo, hindi siya ganon kasimple kasi pag bumangga ka na nga dun sa mga systemic na problema, hindi lahat ay may, kumbaga, option or agency to, I'd be more, no, selective sa pipiliin ko na order or booking. Or I don't know if that's
Mhm.
even an option, no? Ayun.
I think what I think the keyword naman that we're talking about here is accountability and understanding how these platforms interact with us and the fact that they do leave things that are very opaque. Ang naisip ko kasi, at risk of sounding like a sympathizer with the platforms, they did the work of generating billions of dollars so that they could build this infrastructure that can only be sustainable across many geographies. And I know that Grab is actually not exactly making money anyway. Yung parang di naman talaga sila kumikita in the way that they would like to be also. And they have innovated a service that we have found helpful. So they have solved certain problems. So it's not like we want them to close, but we
Right.
do want a level of, I guess I guess the word is safety, equity. Yung kasi nangyayari parang, I don't know kung naranasan mo to, yung masamang-masama lang yung loob ng Grab driver mo kasi na-book ka niya. And yun, tas parang karga-karga ko yung feeling na kasalanan ko pala na nag-book ako tas ikaw yung sumundo sa akin. I don't know.
Mm-mm,
But we
mm-mm.
do want everyone here to feel like it's a win. Tama ba?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Especially, pag tiningnan natin nga yung gender aspect doon,
Mm-hmm.
um, may mga nakausap rin ako na babae na rider and driver. Ang laking bagay rin sa kanila na may platform pala na ganito kasi
Mm-hmm.
nagkaroon sila ng opportunity to earn money. And even for, kahit ako rin, yun nga, as a commuter, especially, di ba, in a lot of countries in the global south, hindi common yung nagda-drive yung babae or they own cars or walkable yung
Mm-hmm.
city, ano. So, yung mobility, ang laking bagay rin for a lot of women. So, may mga, kumbaga, I mean, I don't mean to sound dramatic, pero yung ibang nakausap ko na women riders, parang nabago yung buhay nila. Kasi yun nga,
Mm-hmm.
they're able to earn money. So, ayun, yun nga, no? But, yun, marami
Dami.
siyang story, maraming nuances na totoo rin naman. Even though, yun nga, may problema tayo with yung pagiging opaque noong algorithm. But, ito rin, may ganitong story na nag-iba yung buhay ng pamilya because nakakapagtrabaho yung nanay, for instance.
And I just want to say, Carol, that I really appreciate that you're exploring these complexities. I appreciate that you're trying to tell these stories, and you're really, parang you're trying to bring us the full picture. I invite listeners, if you haven't heard it yet, story one is uh, about about surges and the Grab algorithm itself. The next stories that we're doing will talk a little bit more about the workforce. It's really it. I feel like it's such a privilege to get to work with you on these stories. I hope people enjoyed this conversation. I hope people will listen to the episodes. We'll have episode links. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put the links here, and then we'll link out also if you're listening on Spotify or other audio platforms. Last thing, just because tuwang-tuwa ako sa idea na ginawa mo to kasi teacher ka, tapos naisip ko na, sige nga students, ganyan, I have to keep doing this for my students. So, um, what's, if you haven't told them yet in class, and for those people who are not your students, what is your advice for, students, young journalists who are trying to tell stories? What can they learn from your experience here, from that curiosity and all that?
Mm. Siguro no for this particular story kasi remember for our listeners na napakinggan yon, we actually built our own data set. I guess
Oh.
siguro for students oftentimes kasi especially in the Philippines, ang common na binabanggit natin ay ang hirap naman kumuha ng data or walang data na ganyan. Siguro yun nga, for this type of story, dun ko na-realize na pwede ka pala tayong mag-build ng ating own data set and from there, start exploring yung ating questions and will may masasagot pala tayo no even though limited yung makuha natin na data. So yon for me yon parang bagong-bago sa akin yung idea na yon and I'm very happy that I even got to work with my students doon. So sila parang I always tell them, kaya may story because of all of you trying to book
Mm-hmm.
the Grab rides every
Yeah.
hour, every hour for 1 week. So dun yun nabuo from those small, ano no, from each entry nila nung week na yon when we were collecting data.
Yeah. So for the people who didn't hear, who haven't listened to the episode yet, you guys did something like 2,000 plus bookings
One week
over
yon.
1 week,
1 week, yeah.
so that you could create the data set.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Diba? Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yun nga, parang, I kind of love it na, o sige, walang data set na nag-exist. Sige, we're gonna make 2,000 bookings in a week
Yeah.
so that we can know the truth about this thing. That's what it takes. So, thanks for listening to this episode of Teka Tech, and thank you, Carol, for having this conversation with me. If you're curious about Carol's story, check out our two-part series on Grab and AI. The links are in the show notes. And again, you have more stories from Carol coming soon, along with more conversations like this. If you have friends wondering why their Grab fare is so high, please share this episode with them. This episode was hosted by me, Carl Javier, edited by Pidoy Blanco, with editorial support from our executive producer, Jill Carroll. Make sure to follow Teka Teka on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Smash the follow and like buttons. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carl.